Tell me about your vision.
So I was working in a rehab and I was noticing all the things that were wrong. I noticed that all the staff were underpaid, overworked, and the owner pulled up in a Bugatti. And the running joke became, how many red bottom shoes does his wife own when I can't pay my rent? Every month I'm in the hole at least once in the negative. And we counted it. She had 43 pairs of red bottom shoes. So I started thinking, it's not working for the clients, it's working for the owner, right? The clients keep coming back. I'm like, what are we missing? And I started to create a program of what we were missing, which is how Sober on Demand was born. It's tailored individual therapy to each client. It's not a cookie cutter program where you run group to group and hope you figure it out and then go home and go right back to doing what you were doing. So that's what my vision was, is to change how we do treatment, how we treat the individual that needs the help, and how we treat the professional. So all of my staff are well paid. All of my clients love what we do. It's, white glove service where we can offer one-on-one individual care as opposed to just, being dumped in a group somewhere. And that's what I wanted. I wanted both sides to win.
I love that. I love that. So it's crazy. Again, my mind is about to start going. When an individual is sent to a rehabilitation center, I found in the profession that I was in that it was a consistent, constant return. It just didn't seem like, for lack of better words, that it stuck, right? And they got back in the same situation. So you saying that you're doing that one-on-one, I'm smiling, I have goosebumps, I'm excited because it is not a one size fits all. That's not a hat service. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a t-shirt service. This is a one-on-one. And so I am super stoked that you figured that out. And of course, there's statistics and everything, but when you started this, did you have what were some of your concerns or your thoughts about it?
Well, at first I was like, is this legal? Can we do this? Am I okay to do this? And found out, yeah, this is legal. Then it was, would people really want this? Because it's new. They don't know what this is. It's an alternative to traditional treatment.
Yes.
And we got our first couple clients and we got a success. And I thought, wow, our success rate is really good. So I started from there, from the concern of, can we do it? Will it work? Then it became, we're not going to take everybody. We're only going to take the clients that want the help, that we know we can help. The rest of them will refer out. So we quickly did that. So we separated ourselves from, we're not doing sex addiction. We're doing drug and alcohol. We're doing mental health. We're doing tech addiction. So we kind of differentiated. And then I said, I want to work with executives and celebrities. I don't do a lot of younger kids. I do, 35 and up. They've already been around the block. They've been to treatment 2 or 3 times. They know it didn't work. They want to make the change. And they're coming to us because they're exhausted. They're working, they're trying to manage kids, a household, usually a husband or a wife, and everything's falling apart, but they're ready to commit. That's the difference. So, your 21-year-old who mom and dad pay for may be a better client for treatment than what we do, because the 21-year-old isn't ready. They want to party, they want to have fun, they want to do all the things. My clientele have done the things and they say, I'm exhausted, help. And then I have a 5-day executive reset where I get in and I do trauma with them. I do some memory reconstruction therapy, some CBT, some performance coaching, and we sort of reconstructure how they live their life. And when I leave, they have a whole new blueprint of what they're going to do. And it's completely different than anything on the market. And they love it. And it's super successful. So I have a lot of women lately. I think we've had 4 of those back to back. That said, hey, I'm done. I'm burnt. I'm 45. I'm drinking. I'm exhausted. How do I fix it? And then I come in 5 days and they have a whole new set of tools and they're like gangbusters. This is what I'm going to do. And they're all successful. So that's our niche market. That's what we specialize in. And we do it really, really well.
I had a conversation with another individual who was a guest who focused on the C-suite individuals, and if I may say, they spoke about love. They were like a matchmaker kind of thing. And I roll into this because I know that there was some discussion about their extracurricular activities, which then resulted in divorce, children not liking them, losing a lot of what they have. And so when I hear you say that they're of a certain age, they're exhausted, I'm thinking C-suite, I'm thinking uh, respectfully stating family destruction possibility. And at this point, they are like, yo, and now this is a private situation. I need Dr. Estes and the Sober on Demand team to come to me because now I'm at my wits' end. I just went there.
We actually get referrals from matchmakers because the C-suite executive comes to them and says, I have 2 failed marriages. I'm really good in business. I've built this brand and I can't find the partner. And then the matchmaker goes, well, you can't drink at this level. Here's the problem. But it's out of their wheelhouse. So they call us and we come in and we do an evaluation. We say, okay, the matchmaker can help you find your person, but you've got to be sober. You can't show up, drinking at noon on a Tuesday and expect this amazing person to be in your life and stay there. So then we get them sober and then they're ready for the matchmaker. So we've done that a couple times, which has been really neat.
That's crazy because that's where my mind went, doctor. I was like, man, this sounds so familiar, but it's very interesting because even starting off as an entrepreneur, not yet reaching that C-suite or as a business owner, or even in a corporate, you don't realize how, I guess maybe how fast it's moving, how things are going, and then before you know it, you're at this certain age where life is like something needs to change, and at that point it's either the career or it's me. And so when you do CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, correct?
Yes.
What is their aha moments?
So usually it's, here's my goal, just like business. Here's what I want, but here's where I'm going to get there. And when I can show them you're going the opposite direction of your goal, and I do it in business terms, then they go, that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say you want to make $1 million. Perfect. And I'll ask them, okay, you're a C-suite. How do we do it? And they know, well, we're going to do this, 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 and this. We're going to remove this, 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 and this. And boom, it's going to happen in 6 months, a year, whatever. Yeah. Perfect. What do you want? Well, I want a partner. I want a family. I want this, 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 and this. Excellent. How are you going to do it? And then they look at me. And then I say, well, run it like a business. And they go, well, okay, technically I'd have to stop drinking, right? Or using drugs. Then I would have to do this. Then I want to take care of my health. And they give me the blueprint. And I say, that's what we're going to do. So they create the blueprint. And then I say, I'm just here to help you facilitate the blueprint. I'm like your business coach, right? You came to me and said, I want to make $1 million. I would say, how do we do it? You would tell me. And then I would say, let's go, right? I'm on board. We're going to make it happen. And you wouldn't think twice. You would go. We're going to do the same thing with your life. So when I shift that for them and make them think it's a business decision, they get behind the wheel of the bus and they drive the bus. Now we're going. So we're going to do this, this, and this. And then they'll call me every day. How's it going? How did your plan go? Because they'll say what they need. Some of them will do AA and NA. Some of them won't. Some of them find fitness. If you're drinking and doing all those drugs, you're not working out. You're not eating well. And they're telling me, I want to attract the person who works out, who looks good, who feels good. And I'm saying, well, you have to do those things to attract that person. If you like yoga, you go to yoga. Guess what? You're going to find someone who likes yoga, right? Like I hate to golf. I can't date anybody who golfs. I'm not golfing. I'm not interested. I don't want to learn. I don't care. So guess what? Because of that, I'm not going to attract a golfer. It's very simple. And when I explain it to them, they go, wow, that's that easy. Yeah. But then they have to do the work, the action step of actually getting behind it and going, okay, now I want to drink, but Cali said I have to go to the gym. So I'm going to go to the gym. And then I have an appointment with her. And then I have to do this. And they have all these things. And they say, okay, drinking will ruin all of that. And then how do I behave? So it's a process. And once I get them thinking in that process, and I give them factual information, like Harvard did a study, and they said it takes 32 days to change a habit, whatever you want. It changes the neural pathway in your brain. If I can get you for 32 days, instead of grabbing alcohol after work to go to the gym or go to a yoga class or go for a walk with friends, 32 days from now, your brain is going to go, oh, 4 o'clock, time for my walk.
Yes.
Not, oh, 4 o'clock, time for my bottle of wine. Your brain will tell you what you're doing. And
Yeah.
then from there, it just keeps going. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
No, I love it. I love it. And it's so funny because I find myself looking at myself cheesing, but I'm excited about it. And I believe that I was definitely, when I was in the field of mental health and substance abuse, I was actually working with those that were positive for HIV AIDS. And so that was even a more struggle in not being able to help them the way that you're helping them, Dr. Estes. It was just like I said, I could just listen if they could grasp it, and they were on the younger side, but if they could just grasp the understanding of the
Mhm.
effects that this could have on you and your future 40-year-old self, or 50-year-old self, where everything just seems like time is wasted, right?
Mhm.
And then you don't have what you need in order to get through. I really, really, really am super excited about what you do, because um, I actually have this random question. So it's based off of television and the life that the C-suite life looks like. And they often have liquor in their office. And from what we know, right, from the going down, probably the B suite,
Uh-huh.
we want to be up there. We're not allowed to drink on the job. But
Uh-huh.
in a different world, that does happen. So how do we change that for those that really realize like that's not acceptable, or what it could lead you into? I know that's random though.
That's not random. So the C-suite has a lot of cocaine and
Mhm,
alcohol. Those are
mhm.
their go-tos, you know. You have the cocaine to keep going and you have the alcohol to celebrate that you've been keeping going, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's this combination. So when I work with C-suite, I ask them, what's your goal? What do you want to do? And is alcohol helping you or harming you? That's my question. And
mhm.
they say, well, it's neither. And I say, well, is it really neither? I mean, if you're having a drink at noon, then you're having a drink at 4, then you're coming home and you're downing a bottle of wine. Do you know what your kids are doing? Do you know where they are? Do you even know where your partner is? Do you care? You know, what's going on? And then when I ask the hard questions, they stop and they say, well, alcohol is part of the C-suite culture. And I say, sure, but not always. I said, you don't have to drink. You don't have to be part of that environment. You can still go to the parties and you can have a non alcoholic beverage. And you'll be surprised when you tell people you're not drinking, all of a sudden they go, you know what? I'm not drinking either.
Yeah,
So, like, there's dry January, and I'll tell them, dry January doesn't have to be just January.
yeah,
Or you tell everybody, I'm on a diet, I'm not drinking. Or I have a medical condition, I'm not doing alcohol. Whatever it is you need to say, medical condition usually kind of stops everybody from going, yeah, but you can have one with us. Now I've got a medical issue right now that I'm going through. I can't have alcohol. And the person goes, oh my God, I wonder if I have that medical condition.
yes,
And then they stop drinking. And then next thing you know, all these people that were drinking, out of 10 people, 2 stop. Then
yes.
the third person goes, well, what am I doing? And then someone goes, you guys are having way more fun. I'm going to quit. And next
Mhm.
thing you know, out of 10, you might have 8 that don't drink anymore. And then you have the 2 that are just like, we're not doing that because they've decided this is what they want to do. And then those 8 are kind of flourishing and they're doing better statistically. And the 2 that aren't are going, wow, your numbers are better. Your stats are better. You're running your team better. Oh, I wonder if the alcohol is the problem. And then they usually get on board too. So it's a process, but it always starts with one person going, I'm done. I don't need this.
And that's it's I'm so glad you said that it's not random, and how you mentioned it, because I tell you it's okay to not drink. I must admit that I am, or confess and be transparent. I'm 4 years sober, March 6th. And so I'm super excited, but the clarity that that is had, that occurs once you're done, doing that is amazing. But the thought process and what you have to go through in order to get through is like, whoa, you really truly need someone to help you manage those thoughts in order to stay sober. But I love how you said it only starts with one person. And you're right, because it only takes one person to make a change. And that change can be big and it can grow. And even though that's a part of the culture, you can be different and do things differently. And I truly, truly, truly love that for you. I want to be aware of your time, doctor, but there's always one favorite question that I have. What are the greatest joys of what you do?
So for me, I love when a client calls me a year later and goes, I'm still sober. And it's because of what you told me, this one little knowledge nugget that stuck. And they'll tell me some random thought and I'll say, did I say that? Did I really say that? And it just stuck. And they're like, that's what kept me here. And I'm like, that's awesome. And then I hear how great they're doing, or I see them on TV and I see, wow, they look amazing. They made that transformation. That works for me. So that's why I do what I do.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.